is up, all my dorks, nerds, geeks, and gamers? It's your host Ghost here, and today we're going to be checking out X-Men and the Curse of Man-Thing. I was hoping to get Spider-Man Curse of Man-Thing in, but it never showed up in the mail, so I'm not sure what's going on with that issue, if they canceled it or not. But I did get this one, so we're going to go ahead and do our overview of it, and then I'll tell you if I recommend it or not. If you guys haven't seen the first Curse of Man-Thing, it was called Avengers Curse of Man-Thing. It is actually right down here. It's hard to see there, but yep, that third one down. Avengers Curse of Man-Thing. Very good story, good setup at least for a potentially good story. So hopefully this one carries it through. Unfortunately, if I am missing issue 2 of this, it's a little sad that I never got to see that part of the story. But I think we could still make it through this with a little bit of understanding, because we know what the major threat is, so we can probably make through what's going on here. So, we start off right off the bat. Man-Thing is at Empire State University. For whatever reason, I don't know if this ties into the Spider-Man Curse of Man-Thing storyline that I never saw, but maybe it does. But he's there, and he's talking to Magic, who shows up from the X-Men. If you guys don't know, Magic can go to different dimensions, demon dimensions, and kind of control and command these monsters that live in these dimensions. Then we cut to Citrusville, Florida, where we have the enemy from the last issue, who is now trapped inside, it looks like the swamp that Swamp Thing was in. She's trying to open the portal to the multiverse, if you remember correctly from the Avengers Curse of Man-Thing issue. She's trying to open the multiverse, and she's failing and failing and failing. Well, at the same time, we have these trees all over the world that the Avengers are trying to fight and protect from, that are catching people on fire because of fear. And it's not only that, but it's the pollen and the creatures that come out as well that can attach to people and create fear and then burn them alive. So it's still cutting back and forth to the Avengers in Wakanda and Brooklyn and Sydney and Manhattan, fighting off these trees and these creatures. But the new location here is Croaca, which is an X-Men sanctuary for mutants. So yeah, we cut to Croaca. We got a bunch of mutants there, the best of the best. You got Nightcrawler, you got Storm, you got everybody: Mystique, Mr. Sinister, Quicksilver, Mr. X. So yeah, all these great mutant characters are on this island. Man-Thing's there with Magic. Magic's like, hey, can you show me that mind thing that you showed Captain Rogers in the earlier? So he's like, sure, I can take you in there. He takes her into his mind realm, which we don't know yet, but is actually a very important realm in the MCU, or not in the MCU, but in the Marvel Comics universe. So yeah, he takes her there. They have a conversation back and forth. We get a little bit of backstory of how Man-Thing actually happened. It wasn't a serum that he created. It was actually a deal with a demon called Belasco, who cursed the serum, which then made him into Man-Thing to forever protect the multiversal realm, which is in that swamp that he protects. So that's his role. We get a little bit of backstory on that and why he does what he does. He's still conversing with Magic. She's trying to figure out a way they can stop this. You're a doctor, you should know this, you should know how to get through this. But yeah, then Man-Thing finally comes to himself, and he says, you know what, I can get out of here myself, I can work through this mentally, and I can come to a conclusion on my own. And she's like, finally, you've come to the right conclusion. And she says, but I'm going to introduce you to a team who can help you. And this team, guys, they are called the Dark Riders, are fantastic. I love every design of all these characters. We got a giant elephant. We got a female shark woman who eats people. We've got Marrow. If you guys don't remember her, she's a 90s X-Men. Her bones come out and she can use them as weapons. Very awesome. We got a 4-armed, almost like Hercules type character, but which is very cool. And then we also have a Wolfman character who is now a part of the team as well. So add on Man-Thing with that, and you got a crazy team with Magic as well, of just crazy monsters from different dimensions who can fight and do their thing. So they kick in. They find out where the main villain lady was. I forgot her name, but she's, you know, this one who's trying to get the multiverse dimensions. They find out where she's at, and they show up. Man-Thing and the team bust through this portal, and they're like, alright, it's go time, we're going to take her on, we're going to fight her. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts, this is going down. So, Man-Thing decides to fight her. The other team members go after the creatures that are flying around, trying to attack them. And they're going after, you know, the flying monsters that are going around. So, they start the fight off, but it's awesome because they have this banter, this teamwork banter between all of them that's kind of raunchy, and it's not the best for a superhero stuff to be saying, but they understand each other and they get it, and it's kind of a nice camaraderie moment they're having here. While each of them take out their own kind of creatures and monsters. But at the same time, the main bad guy lady who was from the Avengers Curse of Man-Thing, the way she killed him, she reached in, grabbed his spine, and ripped it out and killed Man-Thing. She tries the same move here, but it fails. Man-Thing actually consumes her and takes him inside of his body and takes him into that nightmare realm that he is in command of and can take people in and out of, kind of like a Ghost Rider or Magic or someone like that in the Marvel Comics universe. So she gets taken here and she gets confronted by this burned man. I assume it's her father or some sort of dark past she had. We find out later on that it was indeed that. But at the same time, the Avengers find out, hey, if we can make a storm on the real world, the Avengers find out if we can make a storm big enough, then maybe we can blow the pollen away and keep some people safe from that. So Storm, Captain Marvel, and the Wakandans and a few other people make these big storms across the world, and they actually blow the pollen off the planet. So they protect people that way. We cut back to the main bad guy confronted by this burning man, which also explains her obsession with fire. Apparently she was in a cabin fire that she started herself and killed her father, and she blamed others for it and got them in trouble. So she had a dark past herself connected to fire, which explains a lot of why her villainous plan had to do with fire, and kind of how Man-Thing gets his revenge by this next scene here. He spits her out and he says, "You're afraid, and whoever knows fear burns at the Man-Thing's touch," and he shoots him out of her chest, or shoots her out of his chest, and she's on fire, she's burning and screaming, she's in pain, and all she can do is just kind of burn, and she just sits there burning, and then Man-Thing's like, you know what? We have a new team here. I feel accomplished. We took care of what needed to be done. Nobody's getting the multiverse on my watch. I found myself. I found out who I am as a hero and what I contribute to a team of heroes in the Marvel universe. So yeah, that's the end of that. She's done for. She's finished. She has to answer for her crimes to these magical beings that were in the Avengers Curse of Man-Thing. Her mother and others that are like Time Lords or something like that. So they take her in and they say, no, you're going to pay for the crimes that you did. You stepped out of line, and now you're going to pay. So she's in the hands of that now. Whatever happens to her, we won't know for a while now. Maybe she'll show up again. Maybe she'll be a bigger threat in the Marvel Comics universe. Who knows? But then we cut back to Citrusville, Florida, and that demon that gave Man-Thing the curse to become Man-Thing actually gets confronted by Man-Thing. And he's like, you know what, I'm not going to let you get away with this. I'm going to actually confront you for what you did. Even though it made me a better person, you still need to pay for the horrors that you created yourself. So he actually confronts this demon, and he says, should we finally give my devil his due? And I thought this was going to be the end of the Curse of the Man-Thing story, but it says not the end at the very end here, and it leaves it open for a actual Curse of the Man-Thing comic book coming out next month. So here's the cover here. So it is going to be continued, but the story does wrap up here with this villain trying to get in the multiverse and all that stuff. So I am hoping that my Amazing Spider-Man Curse of Man-Thing does come in, because I was really interested in reading that and how Kirk Connors ties into the story and all that. But I will have to make do with this one. I did enjoy the storyline. I did like the conclusion that we did get. Was very karmic, how the main villain burned, when her main thing was about burning and her past was tied to burning things down and fear and all that. A very well done story. Great story for Man-Thing, making him the main central hero. I did like how he gets his own team in this one, the Dark Riders. Awesome team. I hope that Man-Thing becomes a main fixture on this team from here on out. Definitely looking forward to any other Man-Thing stories they have coming out in the future. Let me know down in the comments down below what you guys thought of the Curse of the Man-Thing storyline, the X-Men one, the Avengers one, the Spider-Man one. Let me know down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And as always, guys, keep it right here on Dorkston. I've been your host, Ghost. Adios.